Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic with Lincoln Tech. Lincoln Tech has 22 campuses located throughout the United States. These campuses have been educating tomorrow's workforce since 1946 and are accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. On today's webinar, we're going to be discussing Lincoln Tech's Indianapolis campus. This campus has an amazing history of graduating successful technicians for the automotive, diesel, and collision repair industries. Lincoln Tech is also a 20-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 10,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America program and our scholarship programs to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America has remained a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. But today, in today's environment, career and technical education is all but more important. And joining us today to discuss career and technical education is Joshua Kean. Joshua is Lincoln Tech's high school ambassador, and he has a passion for helping students reach their career goals with Lincoln Tech for over 8 years now. We're excited to have Mr. Kean join us today to chat with you about your future. But before turning the program over to Mr. Kean, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be approximately 30 minutes long, with polls during the presentation to engage with our presenter. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. And at the end of the presentation, I'll present any questions offered by the participants. We'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses and follow-up emails if necessary. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Josh Kean. Josh, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Lee. I appreciate you having me here today. Once again, my name is Josh Kean. I'm the Director of High School Admissions here at the Indianapolis campus. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we do when we come into the high schools, talk about what exactly we cover in the high schools, and then also get into a little bit of detail about who Lincoln Tech is. Before we get into any of that, I first want to talk about the skills gap. For many years, we have seen less and less kids that want to get into the skilled trades. And there is a gap that exists out there between the employers and enough qualified individuals to take on some of these jobs. For a long time, students have been told, I got to go to a four-year college to be successful. I got to go to a four-year college to be successful. And, quite honestly, that's just not the case anymore. So here at Lincoln, we've helped, bridge that gap for students that are looking to get into the skilled trades, to get into programs like automotive, diesel, welding, CNC, electrical, and medical assisting. So before we get into a little bit about the presentation, let's talk about some more about the skills gap. So by 2028, employers across the country here are projected to add more than 3 million jobs that you can train for here at Lincoln Tech. So if we go around and we take a look at all the openings, we see 160,000 job openings in the collision repair, 997 jobs in medical assisting, 284,000 jobs in diesel and truck technology, 946,000 jobs in electrical and electrician. Now, that's just to name a few, 488,000 in welding. You take a look at that medical assisting one over there. Medical assisting is projected to grow by 22% here. I mean, it's crazy, the growth and the demand that is out there for an individual like that. When we talk about essential work, these folks, automotive technicians, CNC machinists, medical assistant, welders, they never stop. They always had a job, they were always employed. And, if you just take a look at, diesel as one example. We had to get goods to our Walmart, to our Targets, to our Krogers. We never stopped shipping food. We never stopped shipping all these goods. And behind that diesel truck is a technician that's keeping it up and moving every single day, right? Again, I go to a CNC. As we moved through the pandemic, ventilators were always a hot topic. We didn't have enough of them. Our supply wasn't there. Well, it's the machinists that were making parts so that we had enough ventilators. Our infrastructure. Anywhere you look in the news today, all you hear about is infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. Well, our welders and electricians and machinists are all part of people that are going to benefit from infrastructure. So these jobs are fruitful. They're going to continue to be fruitful for a long time. As far as the Indianapolis campus is concerned, we have 40 individual welding booths. This past year, we put in about a $500,000 expansion, and we also brought pipe welding to the school. We have a FIT program, which stands for Food Industry Technology Program, and that is an add-on program for electrical students. Now, this program is located at the Indianapolis campus, but any student that attends Lincoln and is selected can get put into this program. The tuition is actually paid for by an employer and Lincoln combination, so there is no added expense for that individual. And what that is where students go and they learn to work on industrial grade food technology, so mixers, refrigerators, things of that nature. Our auto and diesel bays just look just as if you would walk into any other shop across the country. In May, we launched a new medical assisting program. We have a full service cafeteria, and we definitely have associates programs available to those students that want to continue on and get that associate's degree. Our presentations talk about defining a pathway to success. We talk about research and career paths, post-secondary educational opportunities, managing a budget, the value of post-secondary education, starting a career versus finding a job, and financial aid and scholarship to those who qualify. So when we first come in and we open up our presentation, the one thing that we want to do is to get our students to start thinking. So we open up a slide about success and what is it? We define it, right? We want the students to know that success means it's the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. So we ask students, you know, what does success look like to you as a 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old young man or woman? And, you know, we start to have these discussions. And everybody's definition of success is very different. But the three things that we try to stress to the high school students is that you've got to be able to define it. So what does it look like to you? You know, is that, you know, having a home and 2 kids and getting married by the time you're 23? Or, you know, is it, you know, you want to travel all across the country and you want to be a traveling diesel technician, or do you want to be a doctor? I mean, you've got to have some, you know, definition of what success looks like to you. And after you define it, you've got to be able to visualize it, okay? And then after you visualize your success, you have to be able to plan for it. What are you going to do? And what steps are you going to take in order for you to plan for you to be successful? And you can take a look at that little picture there that I've got. And, you know, we've all seen adversity in our lives. And, you know, to a high school student, the smallest thing can be like the biggest mountain for them to climb. And, you know, when we come in and we talk about success, we talk about how you're going to have problems, you're going to find obstacles, and you're going to crash and burn, and you're going to see difficulty and troubles along the way. And at the top of that mountain, hopefully, eventually, you're going to find that success. You just have to keep going and going and going. And it's really great to see the kids open up and have these discussions and let you in. And really, it's kind of cool too when the teachers join in discussion, because you know, these are things that they've never heard from their high school students either. So it's a great opening that really sets the tone for the rest of our presentation. As far as the history of Lincoln, Lincoln has 22 campuses in 14 states. We've been around for over 70 years, and we got our start back in World War II, helping returning veterans try to find some marketable job skills so that they could re-enter the workforce. Here at the Indianapolis campus, our programs consist of automotive technology, diesel and truck technology, collision repair and refinishing, CNC machining and manufacturing, electrical and electronic systems, welding technology with pipe, and again, our newly launched medical assisting program. So now let's take a look at each program individually. When a student takes a diesel program or automotive program, those programs are 13 months in length or could end up being a 16-month associate's degree program. They're a NATEP certified curriculum. We have ASE training available to those students that are looking to get ASE certified. We do engine and diagnostics, engine rebuilds, transmissions rebuilds, welding and hydraulics. Students are going to learn to tear apart a diesel engine and a gas engine. Our shops, again, just look like any other shop that you find out in this country. We've got bays and lifts and alignment racks. So awesome stuff, awesome training aids for our students to learn on. The electrical program is a 12-month program and a 17-month associate's program. In that program, we're going to do smart home automation, residential electrical, surveillance systems, home theater systems training, fiber optic cabling, and computer networking. And then collision repair, that program is 12 months. That's a 19-month associate's program. It's a ICAR training. Students are going to get painting, welding, fabrication. They're going to get electrical. They're going to learn how to mix paints and do various things within the collision industry. Basically take a vehicle that was crashed and get it back within the factory specs. Our CNC program is a 10-month program where students are going to learn multi-axis machining, CAD and CAM training, manual machining, CNC milling setup and programming. And then our welding program is 10 months, AWS curriculum. They're going to get fabrication process, structural and pipe welding, blueprint reading, and arc welding procedures. For our medical assistant program, it's a 9-month program. Students are going to learn clinical lab techniques, phlebotomy, administrative medical office techniques, EKG training, and then some career opportunities that exist in the medical field. You know, these students are able to work in a physician's office, blood banks, hospitals, offsite laboratories, or urgent care centers. Here at Lincoln, the goal is to help students finish faster so that they can start their careers faster. And in our programs, again, without the associate's program, range anywhere between 8 to 13 months. It's very hands-on training. We have career services that help our students not only with full-time job placement assistance after graduation, but part-time job assistance while they're there in school. We have instructors with professional real-world experience, national and local advisory boards, and financial aid and scholarships available to those students who qualify. On my next slide, I'm sure that you can pick out 3, 4, 5 of these companies that you recognize. And a lot of these companies hire our students so that we have industry affiliations with. And I think it's really important to show people that we have these types of relationships built, long-standing relationships. And, you know, we've got a great network across this country. When it comes to career services, we help students learn to build a resume, interview prep. We do career fairs. Typically, we have 2 career fairs a year, one in the spring and one in the fall. That can average anywhere between 80 to 110 employers. We help students develop a social media presence, right? We're really trying to reemphasize that to where, you know, something 10 years ago can come back and it can get you. So you got to be really careful about what you're posting out on these social media outlets. Let's take a look at some of our results. So as we go around the gear wheel here, collision repair, nearly 9 out of 10 students. Automotive, 4 out of 5. Electrical and electronic systems, 4 out of 5. Diesel and truck technology, 9 out of 10 students. So as you can see, many of our students are getting those intended results that they're looking for. They got to show up every day, be on time for class, and they're the ones that have to put forth the effort, and Lincoln is going to help them, you know, assist them in finding employment once they graduate. For students that are looking to move away, Lincoln does have a housing service that we use, and you can see right there that these are actual pictures of our apartment complexes with the full kitchen, weight room, very nice place for them to lay their head down at night. Once a student, you know, applies to housing and they move in, it's like they are a resident, a full resident of that complex. Now, how do we help students fund their investment? Well, over 90% of students attending Lincoln Tech qualify for federal student aid. I think that's really important for us to note. Some other areas that may assist students in getting financing are 529 plans, VA benefits, institutional loans, scholarships, and parental loans. The scholarship thing is a big one. And there's a couple that I'd like to highlight. The first one is the Imagine America Foundation. There is some scholarship money available through their foundation. If you have students that compete in Skills USA or FFA, there's some scholarships there. Students could have anywhere between a $500 participation scholarship, or they could have a full tuition scholarship based upon where they place at the regional, state, or national levels. Lincoln also has their own high school scholarship program where students take a 20-minute, 20-question test. That's basically some high school equivalency questions. And then from there, if they pass that test, they could be awarded a $1,000 or a $2,000 scholarship, and then they can enter into the portfolio competition. So here at Lincoln, this year, our schools are awarding over $14 million in grants and scholarships to qualified students nationally. So how does a student get to come to Lincoln? Well, we have what's called a closed application process. So in order for a student to apply to Lincoln, they have to sit down with a high school admissions representative. From there, we're going to go through a full-on interview process. We ask that mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, the legal guardian, really whoever the decision makers are in that student's lives, to be present for these interviews. And we go through a 3-page questionnaire. We want to find out everything we can about the student to really make sure that he's the right fit for Lincoln. Because when we recommend a student, we're looking for that student to not only start school with us, but graduate our program in the amount of time. These are done all via Zoom. So the cool thing about us is once a student gets a recommendation, they have the admissions rep that they're working with to help them, through the entirety to navigate the waters until they start school with us. So there's a couple ways that we can schedule a presentation. One, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you right to a link where we can go ahead and set that up. The easiest way is probably just to either shoot me a text message or to send me an email at jkeehan@lincolntech.edu. So you've got a couple ways, and we look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to getting an admissions rep out to visit with your high school seniors. So Lee, that concludes my presentation.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. We are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. This person wants to know, I think you had mentioned about your scholarship program. This person wants to know if there's a link that they could use to send to their students. And I'll actually go ahead and answer that, Josh. When we send out the recording of your presentation, likely tomorrow morning, I will include a link for the scholarship page that Lincoln Tech offers, but also for the Imagine America Foundation, so that you can direct your students in the correct place. All right, now this person wants to know about how Indianapolis, specifically the Indianapolis campus, has been able to deal with COVID-19 and help keep students safe during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think we've done a phenomenal job. When you think about taking a student who is a primarily hands-on learner, and for a prolonged period of time, you have to take them to a virtual environment where they can't, touch things or see things in person, that can be tough. Lincoln did a great job at adapting. We brought students back gradually. We had smaller class sizes. We did the social distancing. We had students that per program would enter in at certain doors. We did a great job at keeping our students and our staff safe through this whole thing. So really, really proud of the way that Lincoln had adapted to all of this. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, awesome. Okay, all right. Well, just a few house cleaning items here before we close. I am going to be, sending out the recording of this presentation again with those links
likely tomorrow morning. There is a quick follow-up survey when you leave this meeting. If you wouldn't mind answering that for us, it's 3 or 4 questions. It shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes to be able to respond, but it really would help us with some feedback as to what you thought about the presentation. Before closing, I just want to thank the participants for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us today. I'd also like to thank Josh for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage you to contact him directly with any future questions you may have. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, I want to thank you for your time and goodbye.